Kia ora, good evening. The South had a very low-key Armistice Day with wreaths laid in remembrance of those who fell in the Great War of 1914 to 18. 11 a.m. this morning marked the 95th year since the guns fell silent on all fronts of the world's first truly global industrialised conflict. Of the 16 million soldiers and civilians lost between 1914 and 18, 20,000 were New Zealanders. Kiwi combatants saw actions in the Dardanelles, Egypt, Palestine, France and Belgium. Although New Zealand's war losses are more traditionally commemorated on the 25th of April, forthcoming Armistice Days are expected to attract more public and media attention with the centenary of the First World War next year. The Clifton Suspension Bridge was officially reopened at the weekend after receiving much needed restorative attention from the Historic Places Trust contractors. Hunter Andrews has more.
The Clifton Suspension Bridge, first opened in April 1899 by Sir Joseph Ward, was at the weekend officially reopened by a young descendant of the original contractor, William Baird. Historic Places Trust Southern Region Heritage Manager Paul McGowan says the Category 1 classified structure once provided an essential transportation link over the Waiā and has now become a must-visit on the Southern Scenic Route and was more than worthy of the restoration attention it received.
It's a major visitor attraction for the Tuatapere and Clifton communities, really. Surprising, everyone can't get over the number of people that call in here, camper vans and tourists travelling on the Southern Scenic Highway. So it is a really important asset for the community, and we were well aware of that and were keen to support the community in retaining the bridge.
Closed in 2010 after being deemed unsafe to all traffic, the bridge and community waited 2 years for the restoration to begin.
I was actually involved when they closed it about 3 years ago. It was quite disappointing to the community because it did get a lot of foot traffic on it. But however, it's great to see it now it's been restored and it's back to reality again. And and it is a great asset to the region.
The District Councillor has fond memories of crossing the old suspension bridge when it was part of the nation's highway network.
So I used to drive regularly across here early 60s right through the mid 70s. Yes.
And how did the bridge react to the weight of the vehicles?
Well, it depended on the weight and the length of the weight span, but a shorter span and the bridge would pop up a bit more at the other end than it normally did. It was quite eerie actually to jump on one end on a fully loaded truck and you see the other end come flying up in the air.
The contractors replacing timber and steelwork tried, wherever possible, to utilise materials William Baird's crews would have been using during construction in the 1890s.
Wherever possible, we tried to replace with like for like, but that isn't always possible. So there is some modern timbers in there as well, but we used quite a lot of hardwood as well, sustainable hardwood. The bridge originally was Australian hardwood and also some of the native timbers from out on the Otahu Flat here.
Institution of Professional Engineers, Otago Southland Heritage Chapter Chair Lloyd Smith has a real soft spot for the historic 366-foot suspension bridge.
But it's a great example of suspension bridges in New Zealand, which have bridged the gaps that previously were dangerous river crossings. People in early days crossed on foot or on horseback or with coaches, and then ferries or punts were used to get across the rivers, and then finally there was the engineering that went into these sort of bridges to get safety across rivers. And people today, they'll speed down the highway and go across bridges and not realise that there's a river below there, and in earlier days it was just a dangerous place to cross.
The repairs cost $470,000, an expense the Historic Places Trust believes is money well directed to an asset still contributing to the South Westland economy. Hunter Andrews, South Today News.
This week is National Recycle Week and WasteNet and Southland have extra events planned to build on the national campaign to promote waste reduction. Tomorrow, random red and yellow bin inspections will reveal just how much waste is being disposed of correctly. Wednesday's message is to not use or buy anything that will go to landfill, and WasteNet Southland are also launching an online survey to test participants' knowledge about recycling and waste disposal methods.
We're wanting to know your opinions and attitudes to recycling. Do you actually like it? Is it part of your common everyday things that you do at home? And also just to double check as to what you think can be recycled and what really should be going in your red rubbish bin.
And another initiative has just been launched around recycling. Southland Disability Enterprises are enabling community groups of up to 18 to raise funds through recycling. Groups can earn up to $2,000 for a day's work by sorting recycled waste. And Ian Becker says it'll help to keep on top of recycling volumes.
It will, and a side benefit that we hadn't realised was the education, people starting to see it. I think that anyone who is caught from the group that we had yesterday putting contamination in their bins might find they've got some very irate people on their cases.
Can you elaborate on just what was being sorted through yesterday for us, please?
Some of the nasties they found: used condoms, used sanitary pads, disposable nappies, the rotten food, things like that. One live mouse made a few squeals. It was a softball team yesterday, and the ladies were jumping all over the place here.
So it's quite clear that is not meant to be going into the recycling bin. Why is the message not getting through, do you think?
I think people have just got lazy. For some it's a competition. Let's see what we can put in. I had a bag of grass clippings I could not pick up, and I had to roll it into the loader to get it taken out that had come in. Another bag that I opened with grass clippings actually nearly burnt my hand, so it was potentially quite dangerous, because if it had combusted amongst all the paper and stuff, we could have had a major fire here.
What do you think can be done to try and improve the quality of the recycling that's going through?
The council needs to pass a bylaw with teeth, and I would suggest a $400 up to $1,000 fine, or 10 hours voluntary work on the sort line, and maybe that's how we will stop people throwing rubbish into a recycle bin. A recycle bin is for recycling product, not for putting your crap in. That's the red bin.
So we're heading out to Riverton tomorrow to do some random checks out there of their recycling. What do you think we might find in there?
You'd probably find fish heads, and we've had bags of lamb tails come in from that area. Why farmers would think that we can recycle their maggoty lamb tails, I don't know. By the time they get to us, they are maggoty. And we've had 2 bags in the last 2 weeks come in. So good luck.
So these teams that are looking at fundraising, it's a bit of a challenge for them then.
Strong stomachs. We do give them face masks and we give them the gloves and stuff. But yes, I would suggest don't have bacon and eggs in the morning when you start. Maybe at the end of the day, if you've still got an appetite, that's the time to try it.
Stay with us after the break. The Lee Street Kindergarten kids win big in the Mother Earth Reward competition. Welcome back. The ultimate elevator pitch was created at the Southern Institute of Technology today, with 5 degree students competing in the worldwide 3-minute thesis competition. The competition gives students 3 minutes to present a thesis on their chosen field with the visual aid of just one PowerPoint slide. Today's winner was Rohit Kumar from the Bachelor of Sport and Exercise degree, who spoke on parents living vicariously through their children in sport, winning $250 in prize money. Bachelor of Information Technology student James Aspinall spoke of software development to help children with special needs use computers, while Josh Fisher from the Bachelor of Environmental Management degree spoke of his research project into GIS food shed modelling. 5,000 Kiwi die each year in New Zealand due to heart disease, or one dies every 90 minutes from a cardiovascular event. And what we eat is known to have a big effect on cardio health, affecting cholesterol, blood pressure and weight. The National Heart Foundation have simplified the traditional food pyramid to remind us about making good food choices for healthy hearts.
So it's about a cardioprotective diet, so there's quite a focus on fruit and vegetables, which have nutrients to protect you and be beneficial for your heart.
There is a lot of noise in the media about what is good to eat and how much you should have. Is this something that people should be coming back to all the time?
I think, you need to look at where you're getting information from. So we want to be getting our information from evidence-based sources, and the Heart Foundation is an evidence-based organisation. So anything that we are proclaiming is going to be backed up by a lot of research.
What's the biggest change from the original food pyramid that we've grown up with?
Okay, well, it's shaped like a heart for a start off, so it's sort of tipped the pyramid on its head, and at the top is fruit and vegetables, with below that breads and cereals. So, as I said, the push on fruit and vegetables. Further down, they've actually got a section that's about healthy oils because they have a protective effect, and that's showing the importance of including those in your diet, having nuts and oils in your diet, healthy oils. It's not rocket science. People do know what they should be eating, but there is a lot of misinformation out there. It also really clearly says cut down on junk food. So we use soft words like treat food, and yet treats are being had all the time. Children are getting treats so many times a day. Name it. It's junk food. It doesn't have nutritional value. It's high in fat, salt, sugar. We need to cut that out.
It was a big day for the kids at Lee Street Kindergarten with a special visit from 2 Radio Live stars. In September, Lee Street Kindergarten was announced as the winner of the Most Promising Entry Award, a new award in the 2013 Mother Earth Reward competition. The children won $1,500 to go towards the further development of their native plant nursery and edible garden, and a special visit from Radio Live lifestyle presenters Helen Jackson and Tony Morell. The children got help preparing food from the edible garden for Helen, while the landscape and planting advice was provided by Tony. The project was handpicked as the first Most Promising Entry Award winner by an expert panel of judges. The annual Invercargill Variety Concert provided a night of free music at the Lindisfarne Community Centre in the city on Saturday night. Young performers entertained concert goers with Mozart on flute, Bourbon Street Blues and other classic songs. Young band Bankrupt made their appearance with guitars, singers and backup band, while Pirates of the Caribbean was played on piano. Donations were collected at the event for the Southland Music Trust, which raises funds to support musical learning and endeavours in Southland. And that's it from us for now. Sport is up next with a preview of the New Zealand Trotting Cup from the news team. Good night.